He said, "Judge, I want to leave." Let me explain why Blake Lively feels hurt again. This time, it's because of her husband, Ryan Reynolds. He used to stand by her side and support her. But now, he is telling people her secrets. He wants to stay away from all the trouble. He wants people to know he's not a hero, just someone who only thinks about himself. But wait, they're married. So why does Ryan want to leave the court case all by himself? Ryan Reynolds quietly stepped away from the big mess that he and his wife, who loves being famous, helped create. This isn't just a fight about work or breaking up nicely. It looks like Ryan is done with all the legal drama Blake is involved in. He's decided he doesn't want to be part of it anymore. Can you blame him? If your wife was sending out court letters like they were birthday cards, wouldn't you run away too? After seeing Blake's plan to control her image fall apart like wet paper, Ryan started moving away from her. People who know him say he told them in private, "I didn't agree to crimes and court letters." Honestly, that makes sense. That's probably why he asked the judge to let him leave the lawsuit. Think about it. Ryan thought he was marrying a famous woman who loved fashion, not someone bringing legal problems. And now, papers from the court show that Ryan knew Blake and her best friend, Stephanie Jones, were being careless. They even used court letters to get Jennifer Abel's private phone information. Ryan is a smart businessman, and this move to leave the case shows just how clever he is. He's trying to protect himself and maybe even his money and property from the mess. Let's stop for a moment and think, what if Ryan has stuff that only belongs to him? Meanwhile, his wife is quietly using a fake lawsuit to look at someone's private phone. And instead of saying, "Honey, maybe you shouldn't do that," Ryan just walks away like a character from a Netflix show. But even he has limits. When Blake's lawyers started messing with Taylor Swift, yes, that Taylor Swift, Ryan supposedly even stopped working with Blake's legal team. Blake started gathering her group again after hearing that Taylor Swift sent a scary message. Taylor said, "Support me at the Super Bowl or I'll show the world 10 years of your private texts." Really? Blake? That's how you treat your friends? It looks like when Blake doesn't know how to be honest or get what she wants, she starts scaring people. But the worst part is seeing her act like a loud TikTok person who's upset about a brand deal going wrong. This isn't just a small fight. She's losing her close friends fast. Ryan Reynolds, the funny guy everyone knows from memes, started staying away from her because he was scared the law might catch him too. And this is just the beginning. Now let's talk about the big mess called the Van Sham plan. In April 2024, Blake and Ryan filed a lawsuit using their company, Van Zen Incorporated. But guess what? They didn't really do anything with it. Cara Delevingne, who's like a bad guy from a reality show, went to Gigi Hadid, disappeared, and even Ryan started telling close friends that he's tired of fixing Blake's wild behavior. And here's the weird part. They didn't even pick someone to sue. Yes, a lawsuit with no other person in it. Totally normal, right? Wrong. That's not how honest people act. But it gets worse. They used that fake lawsuit to get into someone else's phone. They looked through Jennifer Abel's private messages without telling her, or Justin Baldoni, or even Wayfair. Why follow the rules when you can just trick the system and show up to court in a fancy Chanel outfit? Experts say this is a clear example of someone misusing the law. In fact, it might even be illegal. We're talking about breaking big laws, like the Electronic Records Act, the Stored Communications Act, and the Federal Wiretapping Act. These aren't just small rules. They are serious laws. And guess who disappeared right when everything started falling apart? Ryan. Yep. As soon as it looked like Blake was pulling him into major legal trouble, Ryan started to quietly leave the mess. He wanted to protect himself. Some people say he even... Just imagine Ryan Reynolds sitting in court. Maybe he would say something like, "Yes, I love Mint Mobile. No, I didn't know my wife was pretending to be a lawyer." Honestly, you can't blame him. If your partner's legal plan is to make fake court cases and sneak into private phones, you either run away, or get ready to go to jail. Ryan chose to save himself instead of staying in Blake's weird, controlling world. Now let's talk about Blake's not-so-nice helper. Stephanie Jones. People used to call Stephanie a PR genius. But now, she's become a big problem. Remember Tom Brady? He's the football star who made $375 million from Fox. Well, he fired Stephanie Jones. Why? Because he found out she gave Blake someone's private phone info. Let's be clear. People close to Tom Brady said he really ended things with Stephanie. This means Stephanie lost $25 million every year. But that's not all. Only a few months later, 8 more people left too. If big stars like The Rock and Juice stop working with you, that means you did something very wrong. This is where Ryan said, "Enough." He found out Stephanie was the one behind all the mean tricks against Melissa Nathan and Justin Baldoni. She wasn't just helping Blake. She was the leader of the bad plans. Let's remember what Ryan saw. A wife who sues lots of people to get their private phone info. A publicist who shares secrets and lost her job in less than 6 months. A bossy girl who wants power and has a fancy online work page. Business Insider said Stephanie's company was a bad place to work. People were tired, customers were tricked, and lots of people quit fast. Like a fast food restaurant, not a place that helps famous people. Can you blame Ryan for wanting to run away? There was a scary threat against Taylor Swift, the world's most famous singer. Also, the law was coming after them for many big problems that could ruin their marriage. But Ryan isn't completely innocent. He was involved in Blake's problems for years, smiling for pictures and making jokes. They looked like a perfect Hollywood couple. Now, Ryan is running away because the police might be watching because of the Taylor Swift blackmail. If none of this had happened, Ryan would probably still be there. He'd be making funny TikTok videos while Blake's lawyer sent fake court letters to people. So no, Ryan doesn't get a prize, but it's funny to see him finally face real problems. Maybe next time, don't marry someone who thinks court letters replace real talent. And don't stay quiet when your name is on a court case. Can you imagine being so desperate that you use 10 years of private messages as a weapon just because someone didn't say, "Good job" fast enough? It's not just that a famous person who is almost falling apart tried to scare Taylor Swift. Yes, Taylor Swift was threatened by Blake's lawyers with this message. "Support me in public or we will show everyone your private texts from the last 10 years. The worst part? Taylor didn't even have to fight Blake herself. Her dad, Scott Swift, told Wayfair's lawyers about the threat. This caused a big wave of court cases and news stories. Because when you fight Taylor Swift, you're not just fighting her. You're fighting a huge team of lawyers. It's like a bad story about a villain, but here's the funny part. Taylor didn't even get scared. Swifties and best friends don't mess around. This wasn't just a little mistake with public stories. It was a huge disaster, and Blake caused it. Blake seemed to think friendship was like holding someone hostage. After that, lots of famous people stopped being friends with her. Cara Delevingne left, Sophie Turner stopped answering her texts, and Hadid walked away before Blake could say it was all a mistake. Blake used Taylor's name, their friendship, and years of trust as a tool in her legal games. Then she thought everyone would just clap and be happy while she destroyed everything. Blake still wanted people to feel sorry for her, but you can't be the good person and the bad person at the same time. Taylor's close friends started ignoring Blake completely. They called her a trickster who hides behind friendship, and they were right. At the same time, Blake didn't just go after Taylor. She also went after Jennifer Abel. This was really scary. A former worker said Jennifer was surprised by security guards at the office. She wasn't invited to a meeting or taken somewhere quietly. Instead, they put a guard outside the room like she was dangerous, and they pushed legal papers in front of her. Jennifer signed the papers even though she was scared and confused, trying not to cry in front of these tough people. Jennifer begged them, "Please don't take my number. It's mine since high school." But Stephanie Jones didn't care. She ignored Jennifer, stopped answering her, took everything, and gave Blake all of Jennifer's private iCloud data, texts, and emails. What were they trying to get? Jennifer's personal phone, not her work phone, the one with her medical papers, bank info, family contacts, and her phone number from high school. They treated her phone like a package full of crime evidence wrapped with a bow. Ryan Reynolds said that was mean and wrong. And this time, we agree with him. When your plan is to surprise your old worker, threaten their identity, and steal their personal stuff like a sale at a store, it's not just bad, it's disgusting. Jennifer lost more than her phone. She lost her freedom, her privacy, and her respect, all because Blake wanted to win. Blake still tries to act like she's the hero who doesn't get it right. But sorry, if your only way to win a court case is to force someone to sign papers scared and then take their phone like it's full of secrets, you're not a victim. You're just the bad guy with a fancy team. And just when you think Blake couldn't be worse, here comes chapter 6 of her story, the secret war with the media. In Blake's world, if the court threats don't work, it's time to make up stories. Reports say her team, including PR person Leslie Sloan and helper Stephanie Jones, quietly gave reporters at Daily Mail real info, not just rumors, to make Melissa Nathan and Justin Baldoni look bad. They weren't trying to defend themselves. They wanted to hurt others behind the scenes while pretending to be the ones attacked. But here is where things get really serious. Blake's team tried to make reporters give them their private messages, voice notes, and notes from their stories when the reporters didn't do what Blake wanted. But that wasn't enough. Blake wanted to break the whole news world so she could control what people read. One reporter fought back hard and asked a judge to stop Blake's demands. The law in New York protects reporters from things like this, believe it or not. Ryan Reynolds was shocked and said, "We're not suing the Daily Mail like it's TMZ, that would be crazy." He was right. You don't fight with the news people who have been making stories about your relationship for years, especially when your wife is already apologizing again and again. Blake wants people to think she's a smart, fair woman who fights for what's right. But behind the scenes, she is hunting reporters and breaking all the rules. She says reporters help tell the truth, but secretly, she is spying on their messages like a jealous person looking at Instagram at night. Blake showed everyone she's a sneaky person who treats people, even friends, like game pieces. When they don't do what she wants, she threatens them and tries to ruin them. This was never about being fair. It was about control and making people scared. Is Blake trying too late to save her good name? Her friends are gone, and her marriage is almost broken. All that's left is her own lies, and even those are getting quieter. The only thing more dramatic than Blake's fake British voice in interviews is what's really happening to her. She's standing in the middle of a big mess, pretending she doesn't understand, but the truth is out. Her mask is off. Blake is fighting alone, with no friends, no helpers, and no trust. Her problems are showing in front of all Hollywood. Now Ryan Reynolds, her husband, has given up on her. The man who always jokes sarcastically has reached his limit. Blake's name isn't even in his emergency phone list anymore. That's when the real trouble started, because Ryan said no to Leslie Sloan's crazy plans to make reporters give up their private info. Ryan tried to stop the crazy plan to bother reporters like it was a fun open mic night, but he didn't want to be part of Blake's sneaky legal attacks on the news. Maybe because he has a strong sense of right and wrong, or maybe because he knows the law better. Either way, Ryan left the mess. People say that when Taylor Swift's name came up in the blackmail plan, Ryan went from being unhappy to saying, "Get me out of here now." You have to be in big trouble for Ryan Reynolds, a man who made fun of everything, to say that. Taylor's fans have ended many men's careers for less than this. And it gets worse. Ryan told his friends he was done being Blake's shield from bad press after all the strange, sneaky things happened, saying that the blackmail threat to Taylor Swift was too much. Ryan heard that Blake's team tried to make Taylor say something nice about Blake, or else they would share 10 years of Taylor's private messages with the media. That's when Ryan knew it was time to leave. The whole internet felt awkward when Hugh Jackman, who used to be loved by everyone, started making mean Instagram posts about his ex-wife after being married 27 years. But guess who might have told him to do that? Ryan Reynolds. Because nothing says, "good friend," like telling your buddy to dance online while his marriage falls apart. It feels like a silly joke from 2007. And not a funny one. Even Ryan's friends and people who work with him are starting to stay away from his bad decisions. It's like watching a guy who thought he was funny slowly realize everyone's laughing at him. The director of Deadpool 3, Sean Levy, even said Ryan told him to keep quiet in interviews, but now Sean says, don't listen to him. Ouch. People close to Ryan say he keeps saying, "I don't want to go down with this ship." But the ship already hit an iceberg and exploded, and Blake is still shouting she's the captain, while Ryan and everyone else quietly row away in lifeboats. And Blake didn't just lose Ryan. Her loyal PR helper Stephanie Jones is also falling apart, according to Business Insider. It's time to leave when even the juice company doesn't want you. What did Stephanie do about people leaving? She told her workers a big lie. "He's still my best friend. We talk every day." Nope, Stephanie. The only thing you're talking about daily is lawsuits. Let's drop some famous names. Jeff Bezos, The Rock, Chris Hemsworth, and Ocean Spray. Stephanie even told people she handled Tom Brady's social media accounts, which is funny because Shadow Lion has done that since 2014, over 10 years. So not only is she losing clients, she's also crazy enough to take credit for things she never did. At this point, Stephanie and Blake deserve each other. Two women building fake castles and pretending no one can see the cracks. And those emails? Yes, the secret emails from Joan's works show Stephanie spreading lies about Jennifer Ael and, wait for it, asking psychics about which employees she can trust. Is this a courtroom or a haunted house? What's next? Using tarot cards for business reports. Ryan even told a studio boss she's lost it. He knows this isn't PR. It's paranormal. All this leads to Blake's biggest fall ever. People say Ryan Reynolds is trying to sell his part of Mint Mobile. One source says Ryan told them, "It's over. I'm done cleaning up her mess." Good for him. Nobody should lose their business because their wife thinks she's a super smart fixer but really isn't. Stephanie Jones is now the last person standing for Blake. Taylor Swift, Cara Delevingne, and Ryan Reynolds are all gone. Stephanie's company is being looked at by the government for breaking privacy laws, faking data, and doing sneaky subpoena tricks so bad even new lawyers shake their heads. Reporters are fighting back in court, judges are threatening big punishments, and Blake's legal team is trying to play the victim, as usual. The gaslighting never stops. Meanwhile, Blake is probably writing in her diary about how no one understands her while looking at old red carpet photos and wondering why none of her friends like her Instagram posts anymore. Maybe it's because everyone has seen the proof. Maybe it's because she treated people like game pieces for years, and now that the game turned against her, she has no friends, no trust, and no Ryan. All she has left is a broken court case, a fake public image, and a trail of burned bridges. Let's be real, Blake spent years pretending to be a smart feminist hero, but when her mask fell off, what showed up? A bully who wants power, hiding behind fancy dresses and fake charm. In the end, Blake's fall isn't sad, it's what she earned. She used lawsuits like weapons, wrote mean Instagram posts, threatened friends, took over phones, and made such a mess even Ryan Reynolds, the guy who always jokes, finally said, "No thanks." Now she has a bad reputation, a husband she can't control, and a spotlight on her. Sorry, but when your own husband would rather confuse you than leave you, the game is over. Blake's empire is crashing faster than her fake friendships. Click subscribe, because this story is just starting.